When it comes to physical pain, there are three major pillars that contribute to the discomfort that you may be experiencing. In this video, I'm going to dive into all three of them and show you how they are interconnected and why it may be important for you to address all three. My name is Anna Harbert. I'm an energy healer and a practitioner of wellness. I worked as a massage therapist for over a decade, and I've switched to the online world so I can bring more information on how you can provide self-care techniques into your life so you can be your own self-healing advocate. So let's dive into this video. The first pillar of pain is mechanical, and this is anything that puts stress on your physical body. Many people address mechanical as something that they cannot alter. Usually when they have these deformities, it has to do with their bone structure or some type of genetic issue that they were born with, and it's something that they have to work with. And it is something that can be supported along their journey of wellness. These people will have a different experience versus the mass majority of people where their mechanical issues come from repetition of movement. Whenever you have improper holding patterns that are created by a dysregulated nervous system, hypertension, hypermobility, or some type of physical trauma that was put onto your body, which can then create chronic holding patterns of stress, these mechanical movements that are repeated, such as sitting, walking, eating, sleeping, standing, your workouts, anything that is done throughout the day, if it is done repetitively from a place of imbalance, your body could actually be wearing and tearing and putting more pressure on your physical experience more than is necessary, which can lead to greater wear and tear at an accelerated rate. Another component of mechanical discomfort and pain in the body is in correlation to inflammation. Inflammation can be created by a number of different reasons. It can be created due to pathogens in the body. It can be created by our diet. It can be created by stress that is continuously experienced by us. And a lot of the time, this stress is intimately connected into the second pillar, which is emotions. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I want to focus on the mechanical, because when it comes to your mechanical stress, what you want to do to alleviate that is support your nervous system regulation. You want to have some type of muscular release or recovery practice, because if you're constantly using them, you will be abusing them. You need that rest and recovery. This is something that is not widely talked about. It is something that is not mentioned, but it is something that I would highly, highly recommend. And this is coming from someone who has trained as a professional boxer, has been physically active her most life. I was a deep tissue massage therapist for over a decade, and that type of work is extremely strenuous on the body. So having a recovery practice was something that was necessary for me to be able to continue to do the work that I was doing. When you have these muscular release practices as well as a nervous system release and reset, what this does is it allows your body to come out of fight or flight, which then allows you to start healing and recovering. And that will allow your muscles to relax, which then allows your body to start to come back into greater alignment, which will then support you in creating healthier holding patterns when you work out. Some of you may need to see a physical therapist to support you. Some of you may need to shift up the style of workouts you're doing. I know for myself, when I started rebuilding my postural alignment, I was diagnosed at 13 with scoliosis. At 21, I was told I needed to have surgery. It was really important to me that I did as much self-care as possible, because I knew back surgery could really be debilitating, and it was something that I didn't want. And I'm 37 today, and I'm feeling better than ever. but it has been a humble rebuilding process. It's been a lot of retraining myself to function with a healthier nervous system, to have a practice that includes recovery. And that can take a lot of reprogramming, because a lot of the stuff that keeps us in unhealthy mechanical patterns is actually the second pillar, which is emotional. Because we live in highly stressful times, our body is constantly experiencing emotions. But when we have a lot of emotional stress, our body will start to either overcompensate with extreme hypermobility, or it'll start to freeze. For a lot of people, it starts to become hypertension, and that hypertension puts a lot of stress on not only our physical body, what we're experiencing, but our internal bodies as well, our internal functioning and the systems that support us in maintaining homeostasis. I will never forget when I was studying at San Francisco State, we had a project where we had to address stress in our lives. We had to make one change. And, or more so, I'll never forget this one project that made me realize how dysfunctional my holding patterns was when I was at San Francisco State. We were told to pick one habit that was not healthy and change it. One habit. My habit was reducing stress, which looking back on it, that had to do with everything. But I made a chart. I observed everything that increased my stress, decreased my stress. I rated everything from a scale of 1 to 10. And I really got to sit and observe my body for the time span of that project, which was a few weeks. And I will never forget how painful it was for my body to sit upright when I was taking the bus. But I realized that I was contributing to this because when I was studying, I was sitting like this. That was comfortable and that was normal for me. That is not normal. But when our body has been out of alignment for so long, our brain will start to create new neural pathways around that dysregulation so we can keep moving forward, so we can keep surviving. But I don't want you to survive, I want you to thrive. So in clearing and getting clear on what emotions are stored in your body can really start to alleviate that tension. Because when your body has increased inflammation, that allows pathogens to thrive, but it also keeps your nervous system on a low level high alert. And when you decrease inflammation, your body can actually breathe. Imagine being in a sauna 24/7. Eventually, your body's going to dry out, it's going to cook, you're going to get cooked, and you're done. The same thing goes for inflammation in the body, which it can deteriorate the cells and the health of the cells within our body due to the oxidative stress that it creates. So in reducing the stress, not only from a mechanical standpoint, which has to do with the mechanics of the body, but also the foods and the pathogens that are within the internal affairs of what's going on. When you address the emotions, what this does is it reduces inflammation. It also helps to reduce chronic hypertension, because when your body is caught in emotional loops, unresolved emotions, your body will create holding patterns so it can keep you from moving through that stress. Because our bodies protect us, especially the muscular system. And when you have unresolved emotions, it gets stored within your muscles, and then that can be stored in other areas as well. Your meridian system, which is the first of the 3 energetic systems of the body, it really ties into the muscular system, and in traditional Chinese medicine, they talk about the importance of addressing emotional stress as well as physical stress, because emotional stress can really dysregulate the entire energetic system, which can then create energetic blockages, which then can create physical discomfort and pain. I recently went through this where I had a big physical scare. I went into the doctor. I was having some type of heart stuff and I was wondering what the heck is going on. It was anxiety, but I also found out that I had some type of bone or inflammation within the ribs, which can create certain feelings of chest pain and discomfort. All my other tests came back good. But when I came home, I was about to do my annual traditional Chinese medicine cleanse, which I do annually as well as intermittently throughout the year. And what I found was every single meridian point that I needed to clear, the symptoms that it created, these blockages, mirrored every single physical experience that I had. And as I cleared those meridians, I felt my body start to feel better. I definitely took in all the information, and I really encourage, if there's anything that's immediate that's putting stress on your body, to seek out medical help. That's exactly what I did. And because the medical side of it didn't really have much answers aside from this is just an anxiety episode, I know that anxiety gets held in the body via the muscular system, the meridians, as well as the other energetic systems of the body. And when you release that stress from your system, and at this time, I was reprogramming trust into my body. I was moving through all the blockages that were tied to my mistrust of the world around me. And that's a big thing. So I'm not surprised that I had this big upheaval come to the surface. It was also stimulated by other things that were going on collectively. There were it got initiated by the massive solar flares that we've been experiencing, which if you are sensitive or if you have underlying health issues, these can arise to the surface. And if your energetic system is blocked, it will create disharmony within your physical experience. As a massage therapist, the number one areas of pain that I saw in my massage clients were actually connected to meridian points, meridian blockages. And I would do energy healing releases, which mirrors magnet pair therapy, which is what I utilize the most. It is the one thing that I utilize to support my body in clearing out stress, both physical and emotional, and energetic, which is the third pillar, which I'll get into in a little bit. But when you are dealing with your emotions, having some way to cleanse and clear the system so you can break that loop will, one, help clear the blockages so your energy, your life force can start moving more coherently and feeding the rest of the body. And the second thing is when your body is stuck in chronic holding patterns of stress tied to emotions, until you address that stress pattern, your muscles will remain locked. And you can get a massage, you can do all this physical activity, relief, you can do all these physical routines to aid and support you, but you're not going to get that resolve because your muscles are going to keep subconsciously going back to those holding patterns until those emotions are addressed. And when it comes to emotions, it's really key that you address the third pillar of pain, which is energetics. And energetics are essentially emotions, but they are emotions that aren't yours because emotions can be transferred. Scientists have found that cortisol can be transferred from one person to another, and you don't even have to be in the same vicinity of them to receive this stress or to have stress triggered in your body. This is very crucial, especially with the amount of connection we have in this day and age via technology. It's very, very crucial. Transference can happen immediately. It is something that is tied into the entanglement theory with quantum physics, and as an energy healer, I can attest to this. We as a collective share an energetic current, and scientists are learning more and more about this, but as someone who has worked with energy fields and worked with different energy systems, I can tell you that we are more divinely connected. And this is where that idea of oneness comes in. But if you have a weak energetic system, you may be taking on energetic loads that aren't yours. And these energetic loads can be transferred either from people, places, or things. And you don't even have to be in the same vicinity to experience this. This can be done through social media. It can be done through phone calls, group calls. It can be transferred through prayer, thoughts. It's really crazy how extensively we are really connected. A simple thought can trigger this. So when you have woundings caused by emotional damaging from past lives, from genetic imprinting or genetic trauma, social programming, or personal programming from family and friends, these old programs can dysregulate and create more disharmony in your energetic field, which then makes you more open and susceptible to being a dumping ground to other people's energy. And when you cleanse and clear the woundings and the energy from other people, what you can start doing is creating a stronger energetic field, which then allows you the space to work on yourself. Because energy is essentially what we are experiencing all the time. And when it comes to energetic pain, that is largely stuff that is not yours. That is what you are experiencing from the world around you. And transference is something that is so readily experienced. And it takes a lot of personal responsibility to shift out of victim mentality into a state of empowerment. And when you cleanse and clear other people's energy from your aura, and then clear it from your chakra system, clear it from your meridians, clear it from your physical body, and clear it from the pathogens that you have taken in, you start to realize how much your life may have been affected by this. And once you've cleansed and cleared these emotions, you can have room to start working on yours, to take ownership of the thoughts and feelings that are yours, so you no longer are in alignment with those energies. Because the sad part, and I know this is really hard to say, but on some level, we subconsciously welcome in this stuff. And until we learn how to clear out those emotional woundings, we will keep subconsciously re-inviting this pain back into our life. And I know for myself, it was so shaming and it was so debilitating. But once I started clearing out the energetic, working with the emotional, I really started to see the true long-lasting shifts in my physical experience with the pain. Because the energetic system, because it is emotional, creates energetic stress patterns within the physical body. So if you address the energetic, you alleviate those stress patterns, which means you start to have more movement, more peace, more ease, which means you have greater bandwidth for holding space for your own stuff that comes up. And then that allows you to form new holding patterns within your physical reality, because when you change the negative thought forms into positive ones, your body starts to work in greater harmony, which means it will synergistically start supporting you on a subconscious level, which then allows your physical body to make those leaps and bounds that you may have been seeking. Now, I want to just take a moment to say that everyone's results will vary depending on what healing modalities they're utilizing, how committed they are to making these lifestyle changes. It is a lifestyle change. It is not a cure-all. And depending on how much damage you have done to your body, you may need some medical assistance on your journey. And medical assistance isn't just about surgery. It also may be medical assistance in regards to taking some medications to help balance out your internal well-being. It may be to support you through PTSD. Everybody's journey is different. And the beautiful thing about cleansing and clearing the stress in your body is it will benefit any other modality that you are utilizing. But I want to be clear, when you are cleansing and clearing emotions, it can be a bit of a journey and it can be very intense. And in another video, I linked, I'm going to link below, it talks about why some people have energetic psychosis. And I think this is really important because as you go through your journey, a lot of people just address the physical. And if you address the physical and you have emotional stuff, it's like cracking open a long sealed door that's had emotions that have been waiting and waiting to come out, and all of it will start pushing out into your system. So you want to make sure all of your channels are open so they can receive that energy as it starts to be released. And when people just work on the physical, which could be nervous system regulation, it could be working as with massage or working with some type of somatic release, this release can actually trigger a big emotional upheaval. So what I recommend through my findings, having gone through my own healing journey, is that you start clearing the energetic first, because it relieves a layer of density and a layer of emotions that aren't yours. So it's not like you're having to work twice as hard. You're working less and you're getting more from it. And when you cleanse and clear your energetic blueprint, it allows for a deeper shift and more permanent shift in a positive way to happen in your physical. Because when you have something going on in the energetic and it's not addressed, it can really damper and hinder the results that you require or you desire in your physical experience. So in addressing the energetic first, cleansing and clearing what isn't yours allows you to get clear on what is. So then you can start cleansing and clearing your emotions. And then you can really start addressing the physical within your wellness journey. And how I went about doing this is I utilized energy healing via magnet pair therapy. I created courses where you can receive energy healing to support you in cleansing and clearing these different systems of the body. I give you a roadmap on how to do that. I teach you how to scan your body. I provide you with energy healing frequencies. I also provide you with information on how to utilize magnets so you can have this information to support you outside of the course. Because some people might need to cleanse and clear these systems more readily or do them more consistently and diligently before they get to a state of maintenance. It depends on how depleted and in the red your body has been and these energy systems have been. And depending on where you are at in your healing journey, some of you may only need to utilize healing in specific systems of the body. Some of you may need to do all of them. I definitely recommend doing all of them, especially if you are someone who is wanting to really address woundings in your life, specifically tied to the divine feminine. I believe wholeheartedly that many of us are being confronted with divine feminine woundings that need to be addressed. And in addressing these wounds, it will support not only our physical experience, but our emotional and energetic experience as well. And when I say energetic, just feeling lighter, feeling more emotionally sound and centered, feeling grounded, and just knowing who we are on a deeper level. Because when you address these wounds that are so visceral to not only our experience, but the collective experience, it helps lighten the load, not just for yourself, but for everyone else who is going through it. So it's a very loving thing to shift the energy of your experience and the collective experience. And for myself, it was the one thing that really allowed me to step out of my chronic pain. It allowed me to finally quit smoking cigarettes. It allowed me to really shift negative mindset loops that were caught in place, that simply doing meditations and affirmations did not work. It wasn't until I walked through the emotions and worked with them that I saw these resolves on every single level of my life. It was extremely transformative, and it's something that I would recommend to anyone who knows they have deep-seated wounds around the feminine, if that's something that's constantly being called forward to you and you want to not only support in freeing yourself up energetically, but supporting yourself in reestablishing a healthier way of being within a healthy paradigm that brings about a balanced masculine and feminine energy to your own experience, which then you can share with the world around you, which is a game changer. But I really wanted to stress the importance of addressing all three pillars, understanding how all three of them are intertwined, and how in addressing just the physical, you might be opening up your body's need and the conversation to, oh, I have more that needs to be addressed. And magnet pair therapy was the deepest form of somatic healing that I ever experienced, because it really allows you to enter into a state of deep healing while you're listening to these energy healing frequencies. It addresses the chronic holding patterns of stress so your body truly can release. So then your physical body has a chance to rest, recover, and will allow you to start forming healthier holding patterns around these new states of consciousness that in turn are healthier because they are no longer tied to the emotional stress patterns and loops and essentially addictions that a lot of people are stuck in. So if you're someone who's been wondering what the heck's been going on, it may be more than just physical. It may be either the second pillar or the third pillar, which is emotional or energetic. Just take some time. Let this was a lot of information. Let it sit, let it resonate. And if it was a big hell yes for you, I highly recommend that you go check out my energy healing courses that I will have linked below in the description. Each course offers a different set of energy healing frequencies, as well as different strategies and utilizing magnet pair therapy when it comes to cleansing personalized pairs within your body, because everybody is different. I found that universal pairs sometimes didn't cut it. And even though universal pairs generally are very beneficial, you may need personalized pairs, which is what I teach you in each of the courses in connection to the system that you're working with. So you know how to utilize that if you are ever called forward to do so on your journey. Because I know I definitely was. I know firsthand I had to change up my massages to fit people's personalized issues. It happened so regularly that I knew I had to create a course that would adhere to this. So in the course, I teach you how to scan your body so you know what frequencies to utilize to support you on your health and wellness journey. I teach you how to utilize magnet pair therapy. I teach you how to scan. I teach you how to think about scanning, because your verbiage really does matter. And I give you a bunch of prompts and scan sheets to follow to get yourself adjusted to this new style of healing and this new way of thinking about connecting in with the body. And it's a tool that you can utilize again and again and again, and alongside any other modality, which is what makes it such a powerful tool to support you on your health and wellness journey. So you can check that out below. And if you like this video, please share with someone who may benefit from this. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video.